Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Run Your Day podcast on a special weekend episode. Today's topic is you versus you. Thank you for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the surprise show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everyone. Welcome in again to today's surprise Saturday show. I usually don't do these episodes on the weekends, but today I just felt compelled to do this in also the fact that I didn't do one on Monday. So making up for lost time, I'm holding myself accountable to this. And it's awesome to join you guys here on a Saturday morning, if you are listening to this on a Saturday morning. So today's topic, the last one inside of this theme of the week of reflection, I really wanted to come on and talk about this topic of you versus you. The only person you should ever be competing against is yourself, right? There are a whole bunch of different ways to compete, different sporting events, different, just different events overall that you can compete against others. But at the end of the day, if you're not becoming a better version of you every single day, every single week, every month, every quarter, every year, there's no point to it, right? If you're not improving, then if you're not growing, if you're not improving, then you're regressing. There's no middle ground, right? There's no, well, I'm staying exactly the same. No, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. I always got talked to about this when I played football when I was younger. You either get better every day at practice or you get worse every day at practice. It's kind of harsh to think about, but it's true. It's absolutely 100% true. And the more that I do in my life, the more I realize that this is, in fact, true. I especially find this true in a lot of the running and biking and sporting events that I take part in, now that I'm older, in like 5Ks, half marathons, biking, duathlons, things like that. Because at the end of the day, you are just competing against yourself. Yeah, there might be 500,000 people in a race, but you're not racing against anyone in particular. You're racing against the clock. You're racing against you. How can you be a better version of you at the finish line than you were at the start line? Because during that crucible of the race, you are growing. You are finding what you're made of. You are actually pushing yourself to new levels and digging deeper within yourself to find something that you might not know was part of you. I ran my first half marathon here a couple weeks ago, and it was an awesome experience, and that will by no means be my last one I ever run. But there was a time in that race where I just felt like a new person because I was able to dig deep and find something inside of myself that I did not know existed. Like there was just a grit and a determination way deep down in there somewhere that it was incredible to find and to access, because I knew that there was something like that inside of me. I've always been a very determined person. I've always been very driven, but in order to do what I did, it took just belief. That's really all it was. It was just belief and determination in myself. And at the end of that race, I was such a better person overall in my life than I was when I started. Because when I started, I was fearful, I was doubtful, I was insecure, I was uncertain that I was going to be able to do what I wanted to do there. And when I finished and I beat my record or at least my goal time, and I cross that finish line sprinting after never running that far in my entire life, I knew in that moment that I was a better version of me than I was, less than 2 hours beforehand. And that is really what I wanted to talk about today in this topic of you versus you, because every single day, if you're not trying to be a better version of yourself, you're not doing it right. That's really the best way for me to put it. You're just not doing it right, because there's no point in doing something if you're going to half-ass it. There's no point. Like, I'm sorry. I can speak on this because I've done this way my entire life up until now. Like, I've half-assed a lot of things, almost everything. Never been a person that did it all the way or went completely 100% committed. And since I've changed that approach over the last 6 months of my life, things have absolutely taken off, like to an entirely new level in my own life. But it came down to, you know what? I am a better version of me. I don't care what anyone else is doing. I am the horse with blinders on in the race. I am going to just focus on me, and I am going to be the best badass version of me that I can possibly be. I'm going to be the best badass version of Dan Hafner that I can possibly be. To hell with anybody else. For right now. Not that I don't care about other people's success. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying right now, there are times in your life when you have to be a little selfish. And for me, this is a time of that. It's coming inward. It's reflecting on what I needed to do in order to move myself forward and get myself back on track. And now that I have done that, that's part of this. The reason of this podcast is I want to share my knowledge, share what I have learned, share my experiences with you, so you can get to this point where you can reflect on this and you can apply what I have learned in my own life to get to a better place in yours. That is why I do this every day. That is why I come up with these ideas and I keep doing these podcasts, because I know somewhere out there, somebody is going to listen to this one day and it could change their life. It could change their approach, their thought process on things. And maybe it'll save them. That is my hope. That's my hope with this. Someday I hope somebody listens to this and is like, you know what? You're right. I need to focus down on myself, and I need to be the best version of me that I can possibly be. Because not only is that better for me and my family, but it's better for the world. What benefit does the world get from you if you just isolate yourself and don't care and just completely be 100% cut off and selfish? There's no benefit to that. There's no value that you add to the world by isolating yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to become a better version of you I say every day. It's hard to do that every day, but at least what I do is I do every 90 days. That's how I've structured my life now. So every 90 days, I am literally becoming a different person by the things I'm achieving. I am becoming an entirely different Dan Hafner than I was 12 weeks before, just 90 days before. Completely different and better in a whole bunch of different ways. So if you want any advice on how to do this, how to structure this, and how to be a better version of you, and how to actually not just say you're going to do it and then never do it, but actually do it and accomplish it, send me a message on here. Connect with me on Facebook, tweet at me, do whatever you have to do to get a hold of me, and I will coach you through this. Like, I know what to do. I've been through this several times now. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but if you're looking for some kind of guidance on where to go, how to get better, and how to be a better version of yourself, even 30 days from now, connect with me. I will help you. I'm starting a private coaching group on Facebook. I'll start putting some information out on that regarding, on this podcast here. It'll be a private group. It'll be all closed off, complete 100% accountability. Me going live in there every single day, giving you motivational speeches just like this, giving you insights just like this. That's coming down the pipe here. Like, I am becoming a completely different version of Dan Hafner every single day. And if you want to jump on the train with me, you're more than welcome. And if now's not the time for you, I understand. But what I encourage you to do is take this weekend and reflect. Do some reflection on yourself. Are you truly the best you that you can be? And if you are, great. If not, then you know what you need to do. So that's going to wrap up today's episode, today's surprise Saturday episode. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate you guys. Once again, this is the Run Your Day podcast. Dan Hafner signing off.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.